As for removing the caliper bracket, this top bolt is really tricky to get to, so I highly recommend just taking the two 14mm bolts off that hold the caliper onto the bracket and set the caliper aside, and then you can get to this pretty easily and have some leverage from the backside. And also, if you don't have a set of these mountain wrenches, combination wrenches, highly advise it. They come in different combinations, so it'll be like 12, 14, 17, 19, all the way down to like 8, 10. Definitely convenient. And this bolt's long as hell, so just be patient. And of course, make sure you loosen both of them before you take one of the bolts out, or it'll just like flip down and you'll never get it loose. Now we got our axle loose, we've got our brakes off. Next up is getting the axle bolts from the backside. All right, so now we got the rear axle or hub bolts, these two, that one and this one. My preferred method is, where's the camera? A short 19mm, extension about 3 inches long, and then a swivel. If you have the right amount of extension and swivel setup, you can get off every one of these bolts with an impact. So this is my setup for the back side, and then I'll show you what I do for the front. And if you see, the axle is divoted here. So what you'll want to do is just spin the axle cup to where the divot is at the bolt that you're working on. Put your socket on there and all right, that's the back side. All right, so this one's gonna be hard to show you both sides of what I'm doing, but what we got here is like a 9-inch extension, the same shorty. We got a swivel in the middle, and then our 3-inch extension. And we're gonna run that all the way in here. We can find the bolt, and it'll come out right there. Again, impact. Right up. All right, that's all 4. So another way to remove this hub, if you don't have the right length extensions or an impact, you can simply push the axle in and then take a wrench and put it in between the axle and the back face of the hub. And that will give you just enough room to fit a 3/4 and a 1/2-inch wrench back here in between the axles. If you don't do that, you won't have enough room and the ratchet will hit the boot. All right, we got all the bolts out. Now onto the part that I see a lot of times will give people a hassle, especially if a car hasn't been apart before. This car has been 5-lug converted, so this knuckle might, or this wheel bearing might not be stuck on there, but chances are it could possibly. So we're just gonna, for demonstration purposes, treat this hub like it's stuck on there. First things first, I'm gonna knock out one of these studs. I don't know if this is stuck on here or not, I haven't tried, but I'm basically just gonna demonstrate a really easy way to get this off if it is stuck. So we're gonna start out with, you gotta have a long bolt that's got enough thread engagement that you can put a nut on the backside and be able to tighten it up. This bolt, it's not exactly long enough, so I've got this, I'm gonna use it as a spacer. So we'll install this on there. We'll take our nut, that's the same thread pitch as this. This one, like I said, it's just a spacer. And then we're gonna start screwing it in here. And what you're gonna do is, you're gonna use this as like a press to pull the hub off. And what we'll do is we'll go back and forth. We'll do it a little bit here, take it out, spin it around, do it on the bottom, and it'll come right off. Here, check it out. All right, maybe that's a good view for you. So if you don't have an impact, you can still do this by hand. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. So we'll take our wrench and put it on the nut on the back side, take our impact, put it on the front side, and we're just gonna tighten it down. You can see it's already starting to come out. So like I said, this hub wasn't stuck on because it's been off before. But if you have a stuck hub, I'm telling you, this is the absolute best way to do it. And then you'll do the same thing. You'll take this, here, I'll show you. Take this, gonna loosen that back up, and then you can spin it around all the way down to the bottom, and we'll repeat the process just to show you. I said if you actually do have a really stuck hub, this right here will do it. See, that came right off like it was nothing. No hammering, no pry bars, no beating on it. This little homemade style press. Listen closely, you'll be able to hear why we're replacing this. Bearings are toast. All right, so now we're gonna put it all back together. As long as you paid attention as you were pulling it apart, this process is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna start by putting the hub bolts back in.